Welcome to this week's episode of My Neck of the Woods. Today we venture down the Highway 61 Blues Trail to Vicksburg, a small town nestled on the bluffs of the Mississippi River. People come to Vicksburg for many different reasons, and the memories they make here stick with them forever. In the spring of 1995, a small yellow frame home full of Vicksburg's forgotten history was founded. The Jackson House African American Museum was founded in 1325 Main Street. For many years, Main Street was the home of the historic Black Vicksburg.
Center of the heart of historic Black Vicksburg. When I was growing up, and I'm 73 years old now. That doesn't sound too old, does it? But when I was growing up, this was a well-established Black community. There were Black professional people who lived all in and around this neighborhood, all down on Locust and Adams Street. But this was kind of the heart of it. And it was not in any sense a racially segregated neighborhood.
The Jackson House Museum was not always a place of happiness for some, but is also a place of sorrow and devastation for others.
It was vacant. It was abandoned. In a sense, I could hardly bear to look at it because it brought back such intense memories of my sister. But at that same time, I was a member of a local group that was just beginning to document local Black history. And we were getting so much of it, we didn't have a place to put it. So I told the other members of the committee that if they wanted to use this house, which was vacant, to store it, we could do that, and
Also along historic Main Street lived Dr.
I
Jane
also owned
McAllister.
Dr. McAllister's house across the street.
Okay.
And as you probably know, Dr. McAllister was the first Black woman in the world to get a PhD in
Yes.
education. Her house needs a lot of work.
Not only can Miss Robbins give you tons of Vicksburg's great history, but she can also give you the 1947 lineup of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Lineup of the Brooklyn Dodgers. You don't believe me, do you?
Really?
Gil Hodges played first base. He had giant hands. I think he wore a size 14 glove.
Wow.
But he was a very gentle person. Gil Hodges at first, and then of course our beloved Jackie at second, and the little Colonel, Harold Pee Wee Reese, played shortstop, and Billy Cox, who was the greatest third baseman who ever lived, played the hot corner. And out in left field, you had Gene Hermansky. He was a Polish kid from somewhere around in New York. And in right field, you had Carl Furillo. And Furillo had such a deadly accurate arm. It was so strong and so accurate. They said about Furillo that he could throw a lamb chop past a wolf. And then you had Duke Snyder in center field, and on the mound, Big Don Newcomb, another Black man, great pitcher. And behind the plate, Roy Campanella, who was Italian and Black. One of the
When
things
asked
that
about the future of
responsible
the
people
Jackson
have to
House
do
Museum, Miss Robbins
is
stated,
prepare their efforts to go on when they are no longer here.
Yes, ma'am.
When Tillman and Dorothy and Josephine and Leona and I are no longer here. That's one of the issues that we plan to address very
given
soon.
the opportunity, Miss Robbins points out some of her favorite
And this
artifacts
was
in
how
the Jackson
our
House Museum.
ancestors worked all day.
Wow.
You know, they would put it over like so, you put it over and you'd be dragging this behind you and you would be pulling cotton like this because cotton is a fairly low growing crop.
Yes.
So it's not that you could be 5'10" or 6'2"
Yeah.
and stand up and pick cotton.
Yeah.
You were like this
All
day long.
Sun up to sundown. Wow.
The old folks had a way of saying that. They said from can to can't. From can see in the morning till can't see at night.
Wow.
From can to can't, yes. Right. And we have
Here
our
we have some
hair
old-fashioned hair
instruments.
instruments
You
used to
see
press the black
what
woman's
black
hair
women went
to
through
fit the
in
standards
order
of
to
their
make their
time.
hair look beautiful
Yes.
according to the standards of the day. You have a hot comb, the fire, you know, this, you fill this with kerosene. The fire came out here, and you put the comb that you were using or these crinklers to put the curl back into the hair, you know, after you had washed it and straightened it. But isn't that wonderful? What was my favorite? Yeah, this is 1909.
Stay tuned for next week's episode of My Neck of the Woods.